Hi, now that we learned about Picasso and Matisse, now it's time for you to make your own Picasso Matisse inspired painting. And so how would you go about to do that? How would you take an image and change it in such a way that it still has qualities to it, but it has elements of unusual shapes or unusual colors or combination of those things? So first, what I want us to do is look at actual Picasso's transition of his bowls. This is a famous series of drawings by Picasso, and it shows on the upper left-hand side that he started with an image of a bowl. And as the images progressed through this series of drawings, you can see how each one of the bowls began to morph into just shapes, just lines, simplifying some aspects, exaggerating other aspects. And so we have a series of these bulls that even end with Picasso's signature himself that show like the evolution of breaking objects such as an animal down to its most simple shapes. Here is a student work. It's very simplistic and almost cartoony, but the idea that they start with an image that interests them. So a cow, for instance, and they're looking at aspects of the cow and then trying to break up that cow into geometric shapes, maybe adding some Matisse patterning in there, using brush strokes, thinking about maybe using sgraffito for the grass, maybe using underpainting for some of the spots, maybe using patterning in the sky. And all of these things were used by the Cubists and Fauvists and can be used in your painting. Here is another student example, how she had a realistic photograph from a magazine on the left. And then on the right, she has that same image as a sketch, kind of working through the ideas in very angled shapes. Patterns in the back were very geometric, and she kind of broke things up into angles. The same image was then sketched in loose, organic flowing lines, looking at some of the patterns of Matisse, looking at some of the outlining and curved lines he used in his female forms. She was inspired by that when she did that sketch. So what your goal is to find a recognizable image. It can be one off the internet, it could be one from your phone, and you need to submit that image along with your finished work. From that image, do some sketches, maybe some sketches that have cubist style angles to them. Maybe increase the sketch and use more organic rounded shapes in the sketch, and then choose your favorite one and transfer it onto the canvas. You can then paint it any way you want, any colors you want. You want to use at least 3 of the techniques we did on our practice sheet. So as you're sketching, plan out, would I want to use underpainting? Scumbling perhaps, or some broken color? Could I collage something down first or do an underpainting so I can sgraffito some patterns or lines over it? Or maybe even wait until the end and use a palette knife. So you can decide how you want to paint the painting once you decide on the way you're going to paint it, whether it's going to be shapes and lines, pattern of designs, or in your own way. Remember 2 things. 1, this is not a Picasso painting or not a Matisse painting. It's your painting. So you get inspired off of them, but paint it in your own way. And 2, remember, it's not a bull, it's not a cow, it's not a woman. It's a painting, and just treat it as such. Don't try to make it overly realistic, but make it look visually appealing to look at. And that's the plan and the most important thing. So enjoy and contact me if you have any questions. Happy painting.